welcome to another episode of Coffee and Real Estate. Today I'm joined by the lovely Tosya Kidd.
Thank you.
I'm pumped to have you on.
I'm glad to be here.
You're one of my favorite agents in the whole wide world.
That.
And so I'm excited to dive into...
You know, I'm pretty unscripted.
I do know that.
I'm like, this will come right from the
heart.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm excited to see where this goes.
Yeah.
Unscripted is good. That's the whole point of
Yeah.
this. So I always like to start out, just give me a little bit of your background. Who you are, where you're from.
Okay. I am Tosya, as we said. I've been in Dallas-Fort Worth for the last, I will say 19 years actually, almost 20, but 19. I'm originally from Amarillo.
Okay. West Texas.
Hence the accent.
West Texas.
Actually, it's the Panhandle.
Panhandle. Okay.
That's different.
Oh, is it different?
It is different. Yeah, it's very different because, you know, like Lubbock, Midland, Odessa, that is actually West Texas. So when you get north of Lubbock, those are actually the plains. And well, I guess Lubbock is the South Plains, and we are actually the Panhandle.
All right. So we're not just talking real estate, we're talking geography here.
Yeah.
Geography lessons.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in the Panhandle. And then you in Fort Worth area for...
I moved to Fort Worth in 2006.
2006. Okay.
Yeah. To the Keller area in 2006.
And what brought that move on?
Okay, interesting enough. So I had graduated from college, graduated from college, working for a consulting firm who did like engineering, surveying, development, and things like that. Had my first kid about at 24, and I just told my husband that like I couldn't go back to my job, that I needed to like stay home and be present, and so we moved to Dallas-Fort Worth because obviously there was more opportunity. You made more money here, and the cost of living was so low. So we could manage for me to stay home for a number of years and be present and be mom.
So how did you get into, your background was real estate. You're working for a consulting company that's kind of doing real estate.
Yes.
Stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. The development side.
So how did you get into real estate agent?
So I would say my inspo to real estate would probably be number one. My parents and I guess my brother, we were the looky-loos. Okay, so on Sundays.
That's bad for me.
Okay, so on Sundays, when we would go to church, you know, my mom, you had to be at church on Sunday morning, and you had to have lunch as a family every Sunday. And then we would stop by open houses, and they were the people that were there like looking for new designs or new neighborhoods or a cool house or whatever. Because I think like really that's where my inspiration probably comes from, because my parents kind of did it all. Like they built houses, renovated houses.
So you moved a lot.
I mean, I think 4 or 5 times over like the course of us, you know, like me growing up. But I mean, we built a house, like a tri-level house at the lake. I lived in a lake community outside of Amarillo, and we built a tri-level house, and my parents designed it with like brick floors and and then we sold that house, and we bought this, you know, big house that backed up to the Palo Duro Canyon on the other side of the state park. Old house, wraparound decks, and my parents completely renovated it. And so I think I kind of got that knack for, you know, always like kind of a gypsy. Be like, oh, what's the next
just a real estate family. They just liked it.
Yeah. And then probably my second thing that kind of led me into real estate is actually the company I worked for in Amarillo. I mean, they were engineers and surveyors and architects, but one of my jobs, I worked for them in college, and then when I left college, they offered me like a manager position. And so I went in there and I kind of dealt with like accounting, bids, proposals. A lot of them were like city jobs or whatever, but we did design and do stuff for private developments, like private neighborhoods. And so I think this old client that I had, his name was Peter. I won't give his last name. But he was an old real estate developer, and he would come into the office, just a good old boy in a pickup. He always had a cigar. I'd be like, Peter, we don't smoke in the office.
I like Peter.
And I love Peter. Yeah. And so like, it was just kind of funny over the couple of years that I worked with Peter, you know, he would kind of razz me, you know, we kind of had this fun banter back and forth. And I always just thought, I mean, Peter was just like amazing. He did amazing things in the community in Amarillo. And I just thought, I want to be Peter. And so that's still my dream. Like I've told, some of the people here at 6th Avenue, I'm like, hey, before I retire, I just want to do a development.
Yeah.
Like that's my
bucket list goal.
That's my bucket list.
I love that.
So
grew up looking at houses, parents remodeling. And then as a kid, did you like that? And the reason I ask is because I am that, like, my family is that way. Like on vacations, we look at houses and my kid's like, why are we looking at a house? I'm like, okay, so fun.
So, my brother and I are super close.
Yeah. And he's in the mortgage business.
Yeah, he's a mortgage lender. Yep. So, you can get both of us. So we do that. Every time because we vacation a lot together with our kids and boys and stuff like that. And every time we go somewhere, we're like, what if we moved here? Like, what can we do with it? I just think it's like, I don't know. I just think the development and the different styles and the aesthetics and I don't know. But yeah, it came from our parents. I mean, they were always changing. I mean, they were remodeling furniture. I mean, my dad, I remember one time him wallpapering my bathroom for me, like in junior high school, like yellow and white stripes with all the little Ann Getty babies pictures and all these things. So we were always doing projects. And like still to this day, I'm never happy. Like I can go in and change my living room, buy new artwork or do something. And then next I'm like, well, I want to paint it this. Let's do that. It's like, I don't know. It's just kind of, I guess a hobby.
I can relate to that.
Yeah.
So grew up around it, liked it, did it out of college, and then had kind of non-working mom life for a while.
Yep.
So, but when did you decide, okay, I'm going to get my real estate license? At what point, how did that happen?
Well, it was like in my late 20s and the boys, Sutton and Coulter were getting older. They were getting to be school age. Coulter was already in school. Sutton was right around the corner. We had kind of decided that was it. And so I decided, and I think I had a lot of discouragement. Was really my motivation for getting into real estate. I had a lot of people, because when I quit my job to stay home with Coulter and move to DFW, people were kind of like, oh my gosh, like why? I had a pretty sweet gig. And the company I worked for offered to pay for a master's in business.
Oh, wow.
And so they were like, oh my gosh, like you're going to like throw away that job, not go to grad school. Like this means this much to you. And I mean, it did. Like I had to be mom. Like there was no other option. And so they thought it was crazy. So kind of after the 6 or 7 years that I stayed at home, my motivation was people told me like, how are you going to get back to the workforce? You're almost 30 years old. You don't have a lot of experience, as everybody else who would continue working, how are you going to make a decent income? And so my thing was, I'm going to go into real estate and I'm going to use that network and I'm going to help people that, love me and know me and trust me. And it's been a huge blessing for me.
You had a very clear vision of like, this is what I'm going to do.
Absolutely.
Also, it's crazy you saying that, like, I'm 30, like.
Yeah, I know. It seems like,
that seems so young.
I know. I'm like, huh?
That seems...
Yeah, it's crazy because I'm like, 30. I mean, at that time, I will say like in the last 13 years, like opportunities to stay at home and make incomes in different ways from social media. And so like that really wasn't a thing. Like I hate to date myself, but like it wasn't a thing. And it was kind of like, well, what are you going to do? And of course, my dad was always like, when you go back and enter the workforce, work for yourself. Because my dad had, always said like, it's better to make yourself money than to make somebody else a lot of money. And so, I mean, those were kind of my motivations. Like I was out there to prove that, a woman could stay home and take care of their family and then they could enter the workforce and still have a really fulfilling career.
Yeah. So got your license.
Yeah.
And then walk me through sort of that first year.
Oh my gosh.
Was it hard? Was it easy? Did you like it? Were you good at it?
I mean, I'm certainly way more confident now. My first year in real estate. So my first year in real estate, I, started with RE/MAX.
Okay.
And a blessing is that, my first, if you will, not official mentor was Brian Sinclair.
He was your first mentor?
He was.
I didn't realize that.
Well, so we both worked for RE/MAX out of Keller, South Lake area. And Brian's just a generous guy, though. Like, he didn't have to help me.
And for those that don't know, Brian is the
he is
broker
our broker
here at 6 Ave Homes.
So, yeah, Brian was, he wasn't my official mentor. He didn't make any money off me, but he would sit with a couple of other guys in the bullpen. That's what we called it back in the Remax days, just cute little cubes. We'd go in there and work. And, Brian just gave me a lot of, he was always patient with me. He'd always answer my questions. He gave me opportunities to hold his listings open. And so, we've he's seen me cry a lot then and now. So, he's just like he's always been a great support to me. Yeah. So that's kind of how it started out. It started out with Remax, did that for a long time. Did Remax for 4 or 5 years, jumped over to another big box broker, EXP, which was an excellent opportunity, kind of a ground floor opportunity to get into the cloud brokerage world. And enjoyed it, met a lot of fantastic people across the nation. That was a huge asset for me, as I know agents everywhere. And connect you to New York, Chicago, whomever. That was a great opportunity. But then I think it kind of just circled back that I had been in real estate over a decade, and I can sell. I have sold condos and land and all that, but it's kind of like I had lost my soul.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I had...
Why do you...
Well, I just feel like obviously being from the Panhandle, like, a great sense of community is important to me. And I felt like where I was in those big box brokerages is I was just kind of by myself. I was on an island alone.
Lone Ranger.
I'll say my business partner, we were kind of alone. And we have a great working relationship and personal relationship. So we give each other a lot of support, but I think we just felt alone, and we knew we were great agents. We know we did great business, but we were just kind of lost and lonely. Like, we wanted to give and do more. We wanted a family type situation, sort of a more, walk in the door and sit down and, and kind of see how life was. We just felt very disconnected. We didn't feel the support. Like, for example, when I call Brian or I call Jimmy with a problem, it's not just about, well, how do we fix the problem? It's kind of like, well, how are you doing? How are you handling these things? And so I felt like that's where we made the connection with 6th Avenue, is where it was kind of like we could come, our personalities were appreciated. Holly and I are very different. And we kind of have, like, we don't only have business support, but we kind of have personal support. And I think that's huge in a being an entrepreneur, it kind of affects you in every aspect of your life. And so if you don't have that partnership with someone to go, hey, how's your business? But hey, how are you?
Yeah. And it's interesting, like, it's kind of the cool thing about being a real estate agent, and also the hard thing is you're essentially self-employed. You're an entrepreneur who's kind of on an island most of the time. You can wake up whenever you want to wake up. You can not wake up whenever you want, which is good and bad. You are kind of on your own.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so you're at kind of these big brokerages and felt kind of like a number. Like, there was no camaraderie. Okay, cool. I didn't realize that. So how long have you been an agent now?
I have been an agent since 2012.
Okay, so do the math on that. That's
about 13 years. I think 13 years in October.
And do you know how many houses you've sold or you've helped?
I don't
know. Any idea?
A lot.
Oh,
hundreds.
Hundreds?
Yeah.
Okay, and so those first couple years, like, Brian's helping you, like, were you, my assumption is, knowing you and your personality, you're very outgoing, you have a big personality, people like you.
Yeah.
You probably don't meet very many strangers. My assumption is you did pretty well early on.
I think within the first 2 years, I had exponentially helped my household and really felt like this was a calling for me.
Yeah.
It's kind of silly because people think you show pretty houses. That's really, they think, the gist of our job.
Yeah.
They don't know our job, has a lot of, networking and connections, who you know, what you know, and all the law and really the advocating you do for it. But I don't know. I just felt like it was kind of a calling for me, because I would tell myself I'm kind of a master networker. Like, I love to know people You know what I mean? Because I think it's just like a phone call away. Like I said this morning, like I have people reach out to me. Do you know a plastic surgeon? No, but I know. But guess what? I have a great friend that's a nurse practitioner, and she's so smart. And let me reach out to her, and I can make a great connection for you. Because I mean, you really want to have people and use people and do business with people that are trustworthy. And so building those networks allows me and my clients to have some reputable people to do whatever it is, plastic surgery, you need your house painted, whatever. So that, I think that was a huge asset. I've always been super social.
Yeah.
Since I was in high school, I was more of a social butterfly than an academic butterfly. And I still laugh to this day when I run into teachers. They're like, "Well, we didn't see that coming." Because I was like, I was the event coordinator in high school still, and so. Now we use it to your advantage.
So kind of loved it. Like you, was there a moment where you're like, this is it? I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
I don't know if there was a moment that was it. I'm not sure. I'm not sure there was like one moment, but I do feel like very blessed because, I mean, it's just the people I meet and the people I get to do business with. Like it's such a trait. Like it's as meaningful to me as it is to them.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I just have great friends. I mean, I have friends that do anything and everything, and it's like one phone call away, and somebody knows somebody that can help.
Which is what we're talking about is how an agent's job is also a huge connector. Like because we had a meeting before this, and the I'm trying to remember what the question was. The question was the equivalent of like, what do your clients expect you to know? Everything.
Oh, absolutely.
But you can't know everything.
No.
And so part of being a good agent is having, to your point, a
large network.
A large network. Can you unpack maybe just like in those early days or even in recent, like a really pivotal closing, or like this was such a big deal when I closed this house, or like
Well, I have had a lot of interesting ones lately. And I think when the markets change, I think the transactions get more tedious, as we've gone into more of a balanced market and a buyer's market. People get emotional for different reasons. And I think transaction could differ. And anytime the economies change, when people, have less money and have less flexibility, then you naturally are going to see it in the real estate transaction. So, funny, if you know who I'm talking about, if you're listening, I won't mention your name, but we closed on a house this summer at a lake, and it's in the county, not the city.
Yeah.
And we came upon, after having a new survey, is we have a pool 12 feet over our property line.
Oh, no.
That's it was a huge obstacle to overcome. One of those.
How did that happen?
Well, in some of the counties.
I'm not doing inspections or something.
Well, in some of the counties in North Texas, they require a one-time building permit. Some of the outer counties. So that is a great question when you are building, to reach out to your advocate real estate agent and say, "Hey, what do I have to have
on that property?"
Absolutely. And so
would title not close it?
Title would not close it, and so we had.
It's crazy.
Yeah, no, it was. Trust me, Jimmy and Brian both heard. I'm like, "Hey, by the way," Brian calls me his wild card. He's not wrong. We had, at the time my client built the pool, in the county, didn't require permitting. The survey along lakes are really funny. They're really funny. So if you're buying in a lake, a land survey and a reputable survey company is imperative.
Yeah.
Because apparently the whole plat was off. It was actually platted in the 1970s.
The plat was off?
It was. The plat was platted in the 1970s, and supposedly the story, the urban legend I was told, was that it was a couple of doctors trying to develop this, and then the deal kind of went kaput. And so it's like, who knows, again, it's 40, 50 years later, and now we're, dealing with land surveying issues. And so anyways, me and my client, we beautifully hopped over the obstacle. We found the guy that owned the property next to him, willfully sold it to him.
So we sold like a sliver?
Well, we didn't. We actually bought the whole lot.
Oh, you bought the whole lot?
We bought the whole lot.
Really?
Yes. And we got it closed.
Okay.
And then thankfully, my client is smart, and he sold a lot to somebody else. So it was a win-win for him, but like a very tedious transaction.
Yeah, that's a wow.
It was a good fun one.
So one of the questions I wanted to ask you is I would assume, and I feel like one of your superpowers is positivity. And even in this situation,
Yeah.
like you get like that, and that's the thing I kind of like. I love about real estate. Why some people are not great at it because you hit these problems.
Yeah.
Every deal has some sort of obstacle.
Absolutely.
But can you talk through maybe just what positivity or your attitude or your demeanor or how you approach life, how that affects how you do your job or like sets you up for success?
Absolutely. Well, number one, I never thought a career in real estate would grow me so much personally.
Mm-hmm.
But when you deal with real estate and you deal with people's largest transactions and you deal with a lot of people's big life obstacles, I mean, in the last year, we've dealt with divorce, death, people who are in financial, bad financial situations. And so
Some heavy stuff.
very heavy stuff. It is literally not showing pretty houses. And so I think when you deal with a lot of that emotionality, it really grows you as a person and you develop great sense of emotional discipline. And you learn how to pivot, you learn how to make solutions. And it's like, you kind of learn to make the best of every day. And I would say, honestly, that probably, again, comes from childhood, as my mother is a diehard on the Tosya, count your blessings.
Okay.
And it sounds very silly and very simple. Nope, not dissing you, Mom.
Yeah.
But, my mom, my entire life has always said, like, somebody has it worse than you.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, still to this day, whether I was 5, 15, or 40-something years old, I mean, I still talk to my mother every day.
Yeah.
And she will tell me, Tosya, count your blessings. Are you healthy? Are your kids healthy? Do you have a roof over your head? Do you have somewhere warm to sleep tonight? And I'm like, yes, ma'am. And she's like, then you don't have anything to complain about. And so I think people get too caught up in the little things. And I hate to say, because I know they seem big, but I think it's just a maturity thing, maybe, because I've raised 3 kids almost. And you just start to reflect on, I mean, you can live your life and you can be negative and you can freak out about buying new car tires or whatever the obstacle is, or maybe I didn't buy the right house, or maybe that vacation was too expensive, or, I mean, things that you can't always control. But I think you have to, at the end of the day, you have to just be thankful for what you have, because it's really that simple.
Yeah. So when you say emotional discipline, do you mean by that counting your blessings, like going through the exercise of gratitude?
Yeah,
sort of
absolutely. That's probably this is kind of a negative. It's probably one of my biggest turnoffs as a human trait.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm around somebody who does not show gratitude and seems very disconnected, entitled, and negative, I literally have to put distance between myself.
Yeah.
I just don't like to be around negativity.
Yeah.
It just really feels yucky.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I don't have days that I'm totally negative and sarcastic.
We all do.
I can be, but I just think generally you have to be grateful for what you have.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of things you can control and things you can't control.
Yeah. It's interesting you say that. That's one of the things I've tried to teach my kids is I'm like, do you have a grateful heart right now or not? And one of the things is one, people want to be around grateful, happy people.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then 2, you feel better. It's like when you're focusing on the negative, you're not happy. And so
I can't do anymore. And I think it's and I do think it's a getting older thing where you're like, hey man, laugh. I mean,
but wouldn't you say it's also kind of our default? I feel like internally we are wired to focus on negative. And I do think I liked your phrase that you said, emotional discipline, because I do think there is an active choice. There's a discipline to it.
Absolutely. Well, and you think about it, because if you, how you talk to yourself and who you surround yourself with becomes your voice.
Yeah.
And I don't like to wake up feeling I don't like to wake up feeling bad. I mean, I have these conversations with my kids. I'm like, you have to rewire your brain not to be negative. Like because it is like truly a physiological thing.
Yeah.
You know, your brain changes the more negative
drift into
you
that.
feed into. And so your perspective is always to go to the negative. And I mean, that's one of the silly things I still ask my 19-year-old today. I'm like, what was positive about your day? Or, you know, I'll be like, hey, you need to say something positive. And it's just kind of that reminder, like, stop reflecting on the negative. Yeah. Tell me something good that happened today, even if it was, I got a Snickers at lunch. Yeah. I mean, it's just simple.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. What is your favorite thing about what you do?
Oh, goodness. Probably for me, my favorite thing about being a real estate agent is, I mean, number one, I have a super cool group of friends and support system. Like, very, very cool people around me.
Meaning your clients, or meaning just like your personal network?
I mean, both. Yeah. I mean, I have clients that like I have become clients of. So, I mean, that's a great benefit. I mean, I have clients and friends. I mean, just the people that support me in my business, the clients that I do business with. I mean, a lot of them are, you know, turn into real friends. I mean, I think one of my first clients that I ever closed that moved here from California, I mean, I just had dinner with them in Southside not too long ago.
Oh, really?
And we've watched each other, you know, over the years that they've been here in DFW. We've watched, they had 3 kids, we had 3 kids. We've watched all of our kids grow up, and it was great to, you know, we met them at Teeny's, and, you know, we sit down and have a conversation about, oh my gosh, you know, like all over the years, we've watched kids play sports and go off to college and do different things. And so, I mean, it really becomes a blessing because you get to meet all these people from all over. I mean, I've moved clients from all over. I have clients, you know, obviously I've moved a lot of people here from California, Pennsylvania, Florida, you know, South Carolina, North Carolina, New York.
How are you meeting all these people from all over?
Well, I was spoiled. I was very spoiled when I went on at RE/MAX. The same couple I'm talking about at Teeny's. Like, they worked for a big company, for a corporate company, you know, for a Fortune 500 company, and I kind of became their relo person.
Oh, that company.
Absolutely. I mean, not at an official capacity, but just they would mention my name, and like, and then it got to be like where 3 people mention my name, and they would go off and then be like, well, 10 people said your name, and now I call you.
Okay.
And so, I mean, and so that was a huge blessing to run into those clients, and they've referred me business over the last 13 years. Wow. I mean, constantly. I build that network, and being with some of the corporate big box brokerages, we used to go and interact in some of the national conferences. And so I built a lot of relationships with agents around the United States. Like, I've got a transaction, I've got a buyer for one of my clients that here live in DFW. We're closing a house for her daughter in Chicago.
Oh, wow.
So it's just, So, I mean, that's the beauty of it. We can really help you find an agent anywhere.
Yeah.
And the great thing is if we can refer you, I'm going to make the introduction call, and I'm sort of going to vet that agent.
Again, going back to this idea of like network and able to connect people. Can you talk a little bit about Parker County? Because when I think about you, that's your stomping grounds.
It definitely is. So, I mean, I moved here. I lived in Keller for about 7 or 8 years. And then when 35 got torn up, we were kind of like, we're out of here. It just got really busy. And for us, it was kind of like, great. And when I got into real estate, again, I had 2 boys. And then about a year after I got into real estate, it was kind of like, oh my gosh, like, this is not happening. Yeah. And we had our 3rd son, which is Bowen. And so I'm sitting there in Keller, and my mom's like, how are you going to like have a real estate career and run all over the Metroplex, pick up, drop off kids, have a new baby? Like, how's this going to work? And I'm like, well, I don't know. And so my parents at the time lived in Mansfield. And so we sold our house really quickly in Keller, moved to Mansfield for about 2 2 school seasons, maybe 2 school years. I mean, loved Mansfield, knew a lot of people there, but again, I'm looking at, I have 3 boys and we're living in a subdivision and this seems insane. I mean, I grew up in the Texas Panhandle, plenty of space to roam and play and be boys. So we decided that in a 30-day period, and 7 of those we were gone on vacation, that we had to be out of our house. We bought a house in Parker County, and I really went back to Parker County. I mean, I have like a huge heart for Fort Worth, but we went to Parker County because it felt more like the Panhandle.
Yeah.
It had a sense of
country.
Yeah, it was little more laid back, a little more our vibe. Our kids could run a little bit more wild. We didn't have to, be, quite on top of them, because we spent a lot of time at the lake there. I mean, we've done stock show. We've, raised stock show cattle, and we've done archery and shooting sport club and things like that. I just thought it was a great place for 3 boys from Texas to grow up. And so, yeah, we love Parker County. We do spend a lot of time in Fort Worth, but I mean, we have an awesome. I mean, we've watched Parker County
selling real estate there fun. Like
it is.
It
is. It's different. I mean, depending. We're starting to get a lot more tract home building and things like that. Because we first moved there, like Parker County was the sweet spot because you could, first of all, the traffic was not crazy.
Yeah.
Like you could get into downtown Fort Worth 20 minutes, no big deal. And you could go buy a 2,500 or 3,000 square foot house on an acre for $250,000. It was insane. Like that is.
Take me back to that.
Yeah, that is not happening now. But I mean, Parker County was there. You could go and kind of, spread out and have some space. It is a very different animal now, though.
Yeah. How did you? Yeah, and your youngest now is how old?
11.
11. So you still have is that middle school or is that still elementary school?
That is middle school.
That's middle school.
Yeah, we just started middle school.
Just started middle school. So you have done all this. You built this successful career, still while juggling all the mom duties. And you got 3 boys, which means sports and press. And
yeah.
How have you balanced all of that? Like how?
Well,
what does that look like?
So I will tell you, I didn't balance all of it.
Okay.
Well, not in a healthful way.
Okay. I love the honesty.
Well, I mean, and not in a healthful way. I will tell you that for a lot of years, I did not make myself a priority.
Okay.
I was crazy selling real estate, obligated showing houses, open houses, networking events, all of those things. And then I was crazy enough to sit on PTA boards, coach basketball teams, sponsor bass teams, there was a couple years there where we got up at 4 or 5 in the morning and fed steers.
So because you had steers?
We did. We showed steers one year and we showed haggis one year.
You have
no, we were lucky enough to work to have a deal where we had another actually real estate broker that my son worked for that he could he showed for that family. And so we've done it all. I mean, we did the bass team for a while. So fishing bass team, we did that for a while. So
they don't have that in Fort Worth.
Yeah, no, we had that. And so, I mean,
were you burned out? Like, were you?
I really was. I kind of hit around, I hate to say my age, but I hit around 40 and I kind of hit this wall of like super burned out, wanted to disengage, kind of wanted to, kind of be a recluse because I had just overextended myself in so many ways. And so I think it was, who knows who the conversation was, but they were like, you have to start saying no.
Is that hard for you?
It is very hard for me because I am one of those people that you could tell me we need to host an event at 4:00 today and I can run to Costco. I can get food. Like I can pull it off. I work very well under pressure and I'm very good at short timelines. But I think I just had to start saying no. And then when I actually started saying no, like when I retired from the PTA, it was funny because the school administrator I had become great friends with over the years, obviously being in the same elementary school for over a decade.
Yeah.
Where one time I had retired from the PTA board and they were looking for people. And I said, well, and she was like, no, you're retired. Get out of here. You've like done your part. And so I just started saying no. And then when I started saying no and I started taking more care of myself and really actually being in the moment, because that's another thing, is I thought being busy and being helpful like was a quality of life thing, and it really wasn't. And so saying no actually started being more fulfilling. It actually made my life better and my relationships better, because being so spread thin, it really wasn't a positive.
Yeah. I appreciate you sharing that. And I can also relate to that. So what does that look like now? Like in terms of just practice, rhythms, things you do. It sounds like saying no is a big part of it.
Saying no is a big part of it. And I mean,
if you like people and kind of have this people pleaser, like, which I'm assuming, like, again, positive, bubbly, big at work. You know.
I love to be a resource for people, whether it's personally or professionally. I mean, I sort of like to be people's I'm okay with being your sounding board.
Yeah. But it can probably be hard to say no.
It can be, but I've learned over the last couple of years, I mean, really honestly, just to be like, no, like self-preservation. Has really been beneficial. And I think it's like because I think I just ran on nothing and anxiety, probably caffeine, anxiety, whatever. Like I figured it out. But I was just like not fulfilled at all. Okay. And I think the more like I've learned to spend like a lot of time by myself. Like I really appreciate like getting a cup of coffee on Saturday morning, nobody else being up, even if I'm going to work that morning, just to like go sit in my backyard and just be quiet. I think that's probably been my biggest thing, is just learning to kind of be quiet and kind of be in that meditative moment of no business, putting my phone away, prioritizing. Somebody texts me at 10 o'clock, hey, I saw this property, we're interested in seeing it, being like, hey, it's okay to answer them at 8:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
So yeah, and kind of giving yourself permission to like not always be responsive,
not always be on.
Yeah.
And silence and solitude is such an important
very, very
practice. Much. I always had something that I had learned and practiced earlier in my life as well. I feel like now I like love it. Like I get up really early now.
I love it.
Because I need to like be by myself. And
I do definitely. I really appreciate time alone.
I love that. And then, so you mentioned you have 3 boys.
I do.
Your husband. So total, you're surrounded by a boy mom.
A lot of testosterone. Yes. Yes. And that in itself is, for a female to be the only female in a male-driven household, you kind of have to be the tyrant.
Okay.
Like, I'm always the bad guy.
You are.
I'm always the bad guy. Like, I feel like I'm not a part of the boys' club. Like, I say something and they're like, ugh. And I'm like, my voice matters too.
I love that. That's funny. And what do you do? So, self-care has been a big theme. What do you do for fun? Like, what do you?
Oh my gosh, I'm not sure. I do a lot of things for fun.
Outside of real estate,
I like to decorate my house.
Okay.
I do spend a lot of time with my family, because I mean, not only my husband and my 3 boys, but my mom lives about 10 minutes from me, and so does my brother.
Oh, cool.
And my nephews also live not too far from me. And
family's a big deal.
We do spend a lot of time as a family eating, doing. Like my brother is, I mean, we've been religious for a decade now. He comes over every Wednesday night.
Oh, really?
But yeah, I mean, absolutely. Like we eat and do and hang out together. I would say my favorite thing is probably traveling. Like we just, I'm not real bougie in a lot of ways. Like I don't have to have a big fancy house or anything like that, but I'm pretty eccentric when it comes to traveling.
I like to travel. What are your favorite spots?
Probably my most favorite spot in the world is Montana.
Oh, I've never been.
Oh my gosh. If you've not been in Montana, Montana is Texas's sister.
Okay.
It definitely is. And it's not, I mean, obviously not the landscape, completely different, but like the people.
Culture-wise.
Yeah, people, the vibe, like very down to earth, very sense of community. They appreciate their state and their land and their beauty. And it's a magnificent place.
In fact, you like the mountains?
I do. But then we just got back from Turks and Caicos, where we spent 8 days.
Oh my God.
And so like that was super cool because like you're just out there.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm standing out there like hanging out on the beach, looking out into the ocean and thinking, oh my gosh, what if a hurricane came? Like there's no
Uh-huh.
It was kind of wild, but like the most beautiful water I've ever seen. Cool people though, because we stayed on a little island in Turks and Caicos. It's just 5,000 people.
Oh, wow.
And so like everybody knows everybody. So like every afternoon while we were there, we would walk down the beach and like have a drink or a burger at the place called the Sandbar.
Yeah.
Well, all the locals show up because, you know, they don't work insanely like we do.
Yeah.
About, you know, 5 o'clock, 3 to 5 o'clock, everybody kind of shows up down there and has a beer or rum punch or a burger or whatever. So it was really cool.
I need to get that information.
Yeah. Yeah.
Little Island. Little Island sounds great. Can you talk a little bit about hospitality and what that means to you? And the reason I'm asking that is I feel like you and Holly are always kind of hosting.
Right.
You're bringing people here to like for your happy hours, y'all are always doing events.
Right.
You were one of my like idea people.
Cool.
And so, which is like most people aren't, but you're always like, I want to do this event. Can we do this?
Yeah.
Like you have this sort of ability and a desire to gather people, not just like in a haphazard way, but in a very like thoughtful, intentional.
Right.
Like literally even like last week, you were like, let's do a blood drive. And so you have Carter blood drive bus here and brought people in. And anyways, but I see it also as like part of your business too.
Absolutely.
But it's also kind of the superpower. So maybe can you just unpack like where that comes from, why you do that, what that means to you, how that has helped, like, you know, why you want to do these big events that take a lot of time, energy.
Yeah, they do. They do. I think I like to do events. Well, I don't know. I like to be around people and I like to gather and like happy thoughts and you know what I mean? Because the world's so busy. The world's so busy and people can get so disconnected. It's just the little things that you do. I mean, it sounds kind of silly, but it's kind of a mantra that I have because it's kind of like the beauty queen like question, like, how can you change the world? Well, you probably can't change the world, but you can impact the world around you.
Yeah.
Meaning like, you know, I probably can't create world peace, obviously. But if you can impact those people around you, whether it's breaking bread or blood donations, or it's just little positive impacts. Because I don't know, I will say my heart probably says, I don't know how to articulate it. There's so much chaos in the world and I see so much negativity, like so much on social media. You know, you watch the news, everything is so negative and we've really wired a society to look for the ugly in everything. And I think just having a client event or having a blood drive or meeting new people or sharing a story, I don't know, I just feel like it brings positivity in the world because I really reject negativity. It really bothers me. Like I can like get mad at you. Like I can get like I have gotten mad at people where I'm like, stop being negative. Like I can't, because I can't think of that way. Like, great, state your problem. Let's find a solution and let's move on. But that's another thing that comes from my mom because she was very strict about me calling and complaining about something or being with me and me being like, Mom, and she's like, you've talked to me about this 3 times. You know, is there a solution? I'm like, yeah. She's like, then go do it. Yeah. And so it's just very driven of like, if you can control something, take care of business, be positive. But I think we like to host and do and meet people and be positive just to make positive impact. Sounds kind of cheesy, but
I love it.
That's positive impact. You know, I mean, I feel better when I leave.
Well, y'all are so good at it, and it's fun. It creates these moments, and so I love that you have brought that to 6th Avenue because I feel like y'all are constantly saying, "Can we do this?" Yeah. And I love.
I have more ideas, by the way.
I believe it. I believe it. But I love the proactivity of it. Yeah. Proactive sort of blessing folks. Okay, if you could go back in time and give your younger self advice, what would that be?
If I could go back to my younger self and give one, well, I would give myself 2 pieces of advice, actually. One, don't listen to anyone. Because I think that the way my mind works, I know this seems crazy and people are going to be like, oh my gosh. I used to listen to too much chatter about what I should do, how I should think, how my career should look, how I should raise my kids.
From other people?
From other people, family members included. And I think it really probably kept me under that glass ceiling where I'm like, well, I can't do that. Well, I'll do that. And really when I got into real estate and I really learned the power of the mind and the power of positive thinking and putting one foot in front of the other, I'm like, I wasted a lot of time trying to fit into someone else's box. And I kind of hate that. Like I would have rather not fit into someone's box. And it's kind of silly because when I came to 6th Avenue and probably in like the first year or so, and you know, kind of the mentorship I've had here, that was one of the things that kept being pointed out to me. And I mean, and it was like, it was such great constructive criticism. One of the reasons, like, you know, I'm still here is because I have mentors that are like, I mean, I've literally got on one-on-one meetings with leadership and they'd be like, why do you keep putting yourself in that box? Like, stop doing that. Like, even the advice where like, you are enough and as big as personality as you are and as much as you come with, like, you're loved here. And that, like, I think probably in the last couple of years, that has grown me exponentially, personally and professionally. Like I feel very confident to make mistakes. And I think that's what I would tell my younger self. Man, you are going to make some mistakes and that is going to be your trajectory to be like better, a better person, a better real estate agent, all those things. So I wish somebody would have told me, make all the mistakes.
Those are good.
Yeah. Cause I think that is, I really, in that, I mean, I could probably I could write a thesis statement about really promoting that to like your children. Cause like I tell my kids, like, you're going to make a lot of mistakes. You're going to make a lot of people mad. That's okay. Like, you got to be you. And I wish somebody would tell my younger self, like, go make the mistakes.
That's good. Those are both great little nuggets. Okay, I'm taking some of the rapid questions.
Okay.
So coffee and real estate. What's your go-to coffee order, drink, and place?
Okay. Creature of habit. I love Starbucks. Probably love more local, but it's more convenient for me. Is a skinny vanilla latte, 2 Splendas.
Okay. At Starbucks.
At Starbucks.
Okay. Skinny vanilla latte, 2 Splendas.
Yep. That's it.
I'll take it. Favorite meal in Fort Worth?
You know what? I just love Fort Worth so much that, and all the dining, I'm not sure I could pick one. Probably Tim Love. Lonesome Dove.
Yeah.
I want a filet, cooked medium, and a crab cake.
Oh, that's
like
good.
His crab cakes are fantastic.
Lonesome Dove is so good. Early bird or night owl?
Kind of both.
Both?
Yeah, I'm either in bed at 8 p.m. or midnight.
Okay.
But then but I don't sleep, so I'm always an early bird, but sometimes I push it and I stay up late.
Yeah, I love it. Is there a book or podcast, something that has been very instrumental, like in your journey?
Probably. I mean, I listen to a lot of things. Let me try to think of like who I can pigeonhole. I'm like, I really like, what's his name? Gary Vaynerchuk. He's a little harsh around the edges, but I really just feel like he teaches, like I listen to him a lot.
Yeah.
And again, if you're offended by curse words, he's probably not your guy. But I just feel like he gives a real sense of the world and like people should stop being so hard on themselves, even, you know, what age, what mistakes you've made, what you haven't done yet, that you have the opportunity to go do something different tomorrow and to be successful at it. I like that positivity in the world.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of him.
Yeah.
And the final question for the young real estate agents out there, folks kind of just getting into their career, what advice would you give them?
Okay, if I was getting into real estate today and I was going to tell you a couple pieces of advice. Number one, you need to understand that you're running a business. Okay, so your effort equal your rewards. I see way too often, obviously over the years, I've seen a lot of people get their license and they're gung-ho and they're excited. I just don't think that they understand that when you say you're a real estate agent, you are not an employee. You become an entrepreneur. And an entrepreneur your business requires you to be physically healthy, mentally healthy, financially healthy. I mean, there's just so many attributes that people don't understand. And I think a lot of young agents and people in real estate, they have a very hard time transitioning from being an employee to being in real estate because they're wired. They're wired for the 9 to 5. They're wired for someone to come up with a solution. They're wired to have a procedure book and a manual, and it doesn't come with that. So if you can understand that you're a business owner, number one, and all aspects of that are your responsibility. And number two is one of my old real estate mentors, not Brian, Leanne, I also worked with. She's still like a life coach to me today. She raised 4 kids and sold real estate, so we translate really well together. But she always told me, Tosya, activity breeds activity. So like in the down times when you have the peaks and valleys in this business, she would say, activity breeds activity. What are you doing to, what activity are you implementing that will, bring something down the pike, whether it's, having coffee with a friend or reaching out to an old client to how they're doing or sending a note card or making a social media post. You have to continue every week, every day, making some effort to have positive ROI.
Yeah, I love it. Great advice. You got to do something. You got to put in the work.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much. Great conversation. I enjoyed it. Thanks for sharing all that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And great nuggets there.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.